Hey guys, Martin King, it's your Process Chiller Pro here today, and I wanted to share with you what we're going to be talking about today. And today we're taking on the subject of hot gas bypass. Now, many of you probably know, if you buy process chillers, that the manufacturer that builds them, they assemble a bunch of components that they're buying from other vendors. They're putting them into a box and they're creating a chiller for you. And most of them, the good ones, they're going to pre-test all of their equipment before they ship it to you. And that's a good thing. What you may not know is a lot of them, if not most of them, will test their machines using just water. So they're going to test the machine at 45, 44 degrees set point, running straight water, which means all the controls, especially the refrigeration controls, are set up for water. And if you're running a process that's 45 degrees, no problem, especially if you're in a climate that doesn't require glycol. Most likely, if you do the basic on startup, you're going to have a chiller that's going to work just fine. But if you have an application that requires glycol, you're running in a low ambient condition, and you're running colder than 45, then your chiller is going to have to be set up to run at these lower temperatures. And it will require a technician in the field to set it up correctly. So hot gas bypass, which should be a standard feature, and I'll discuss that later on in the episode, this should be a standard feature on a process duty chiller, will have to be adjusted based on your operating conditions in the field. If you don't do it, what's going to end up happening is you could potentially have customers complaining that they're not getting the capacity that they purchased from you. Or worse than that, you could have a situation where you have a freeze up that turns into a lot of issues, up to and including damage to the chiller. So adjusting hot gas bypass and properly setting your machine up is super important. So I'm going to show you how to do that in this episode. If you've subscribed to our podcast using our alert system, just go ahead and click the link below that will jump you directly over to this particular episode of the Process Chiller Pro podcast. If you're checking out our podcast on one of the social platforms like LinkedIn or Facebook, all you have to do is check out in this post, you'll see a link that will also take you over directly to this week's episode. If you could do me a favor, and I know you've probably been asked this 1,000,001 times, if you like our content, in other words, you've checked it out before, or you like this type of content, before you make your jump from one of the social platforms, consider clicking the like button. Again, I know you've been asked that a lot, but it's super helpful to us. It tweaks the algorithm a little bit, and it helps get the word out about our podcast to more and more people. So if you could do that before you make the jump and hit the link in this post, I'd really appreciate it.